What if one single decision could turn a legendary truck into a money pit? In 2003, Ford made exactly that decision. They replaced the 7.3-liter PowerStroke, and engine towing companies ran to 500,000 miles with a new one. Within 2 years, that new engine was funding entire mechanic shops through guaranteed failures. That wasn't bad luck. That was a choice. Manufacturers across the industry made similar choices. They called them modern improvements: better fuel economy, more technology, cleaner emissions. What they actually delivered was broken transmission, failing software, and engines that couldn't survive what the old ones did in their sleep. 12 legendary trucks, 12 decisions that destroyed them. Let's expose every single one. Number 12, Chevrolet Colorado, 2015 to 2022. Southwest construction companies in Arizona and New Mexico ran compact trucks into the ground for decades. Simple mechanicals, crews who serviced everything themselves on job sites miles from the nearest dealer. When GM relaunched the Colorado in 2015 with a 2.8-liter Duramax diesel promising 30 miles per gallon highway, those same companies ordered fleets. They wanted a modern, efficient work truck from a brand they'd trusted for years. Within 3 years, most went back to Toyotas. The DEF system failed at $2,800 to $3,500 per repair on trucks doing exactly the stop-and-go work they were purchased for. The DPF filter clogged constantly because short-trip duty cycles never allowed proper regeneration. The EGR cooler contaminated coolant at $2,400 to $3,200 per incident. One Arizona fleet manager tracked his 6-truck Colorado diesel fleet carefully. $4,200 average in unscheduled repairs per truck within 3 years. Every truck under 60,000 miles. The gas model wasn't safe either. The 8-speed automatic shuddered between 25 to 45 miles per hour. GM issued multiple TSBs without permanently solving it. Torque converter failures arrived at 50,000 to 70,000 miles. Infotainment froze on job sites in summer heat. Fuel system pressure issues developed across both variants simultaneously. Consumer reports flagged below average reliability for multiple consecutive years. One construction foreman described the switch back to Toyotas. We needed trucks that worked when we needed them. The Colorado needed us when it needed us. Current market shows Colorado diesels trading at discounts that tell you everything informed buyers already know. That's why those Arizona crews never came back, and why Tacoma sales increased every year Colorado struggled. But GM's midsize disappointment can't match what Ford did to the compact truck that delivery companies ran forever. Number 11, Ford Ranger, 2019 to present. A Detroit delivery company ran 2001 to 2008 Rangers on brutal stop-and-go city routes through Michigan winters. Salt roads, constant loading. The 4.0-liter V6 never complained. Their fleet of 12 Rangers averaged 287,000 miles on original drivetrains. When Ford killed the Ranger in 2011, that company bought every clean used example they could find, because they knew something Ford had forgotten. Simple trucks outlast complicated ones. Ford brought the Ranger back in 2019. That same company tested one, returned it in 60 days, and bought used Tacomas instead. The new Ranger shared nothing with the original. The 4.0-liter V6 was gone, replaced with a 2.3-liter EcoBoost turbo. Direct injection carbon buildup, turbocharger complexity, intercooler pipes cracking under heat cycles. The manual transmission was gone. In its place, the same 10-speed automatic causing identical shutter problems in F-150S and Explorers simultaneously across Ford's entire lineup. Consumer reports gave the new Ranger below-average predicted reliability from launch. One fleet manager described the experience without drama. The original Ranger asked for oil changes and gave back years of service. The new one asked for $1,800 in transmission work at 22,000 miles. Ford built the new Ranger to beat Tacoma in comparison tests. They achieved performance numbers. They also destroyed everything that made the original worth owning. Current market, buyers paying premiums for pre-2011 Rangers over brand new ones. That single fact says everything, but Ford's Ranger betrayal can't match what Jeep created when they built the truck nobody could safely drive at highway speeds. Number 10, Jeep Gladiator, 2019 to present. A father in Colorado bought a 2020 Gladiator for $54,000 as his family's adventure vehicle. Weekend trails, summer camping, the truck his kids would remember. He drove it 11 months before selling it for $41,000, a $13,000 loss before the first anniversary. The reason wasn't mechanical complexity or software failures. The truck scared him at highway speeds. The death wobble started at 8,400 miles. Not a shimmy, a violent steering wheel wrenching oscillation at 45 to 55 miles per hour that made experienced drivers pull over with shaking hands. NHTSA received hundreds of identical complaints. Class action Aldana versus FCA documented the pattern. Jeep's solution was a steering damper replacement, treating the symptom while the cause stayed completely untouched. That father returned to the dealer 3 times, 3 dampers replaced. The wobble returned after each repair. The extended wheelbase amplified every weakness the Wrangler platform carried. Body flex at highway speeds created wind noise and panel gaps worsening with mileage. The 3.6-liter Pentastar carried its documented cylinder head failure history into the new platform. The 8 HP 75 transmission shuddered under load, identical to other Stellantis vehicles using the same unit. Consumer Reports flagged below-average reliability across every model year. He described selling it. "I bought this truck to take my kids on adventures. Instead, I was afraid to drive it on the highway to get there. $13,000 lost in 11 months. For $45,000 to $58,000, buyers expected Wrangler reliability in truck form. They got Wrangler problems in a heavier package. That's why serious adventure buyers chose Tacomas before their first trail season ended. But Jeep's highway terror can't match what Toyota did to the buyers who trusted them most." Number 9. Toyota Tacoma, 2005 to 2011. Safari companies in Kenya ran pre-2005 Tacomas to 400,000 miles across roads that destroyed Land Rovers in months. Commercial landscaping fleets in America averaged 327,000 miles before retirement, and retirement meant rust damage, not mechanical failure. The Tacoma wasn't just reliable, it was the truck other trucks were measured against and found lacking. Toyota changed the frame coating process in 2005 to reduce costs. Internal documents revealed through litigation showed Toyota engineers raised concerns about the new anti-corrosion treatment before production began. Management overruled them. The result, 2005 to 2011 Tacomas in northern states developed catastrophic frame rust at 80,000 to 120,000 miles. Not surface rust, structural failure, leaf spring mounting points rotting completely through, frames separating from bodies on trucks still under financing. Toyota's own inspection standard, developed after the problem became public, flagged frames that a screwdriver could puncture with one hand as acceptable for continued service. One Michigan owner described his inspection. "My 2007 Tacoma had 94,000 miles. Mechanic pushed a screwdriver through my frame with one hand. 9 years old. Toyota knew before they built it." Toyota spent hundreds of millions on frame replacements and buybacks, acknowledging what engineers warned about before the first truck shipped. This wasn't technology failure or misguided innovation. It was a deliberate cost decision that destroyed 40 years of earned trust with the most loyal compact truck buyers in America. Clean Southern examples now command premiums because Northern ones are structurally compromised. But Toyota's coating decision can't match what GM quietly did to millions of proven engines with one software addition. Number 8. GMC Sierra, 2014 to 2021. A service business owner in Nashville bought a 2018 Sierra 1500 for $51,000 specifically because it wasn't a Silverado. More refined interior, better trim quality. Sierra's marketing positioned it above the baseline, premium without German price tags. He drove it 71,000 miles before the engine told him otherwise. Lifter failure. Dealer quote, $6,200. GM assistance, nothing. That's when he discovered GMC shared every mechanical component with the cheaper truck he'd specifically avoided. Same 5.3-liter V8. Same active fuel management system. Same hydraulic lifters failing at identical mileage on identical schedules. The premium badge was marketing. The mechanical reality underneath was completely identical to every Silverado sitting in the same dealership parking lot. The AFM lifter collapse sent metal fragments through his entire oiling system. Bearings damaged. Cylinder walls scored. What started as a lifter repair became a $9,400 engine rebuild because he drove 2 weeks before the noise became undeniable. Consumer Reports documented Sierra reliability concerns across consecutive model years without improvement. He replaced it with a 2006 Sierra with 190,000 miles for $11,000. That truck has cost me $800 in 2 years. My new Sierra cost me $9,400 in one repair. Same brand, same name, completely different outcome. The 8-speed transmission shudder and direct injection carbon buildup requiring $800 to $1,200. Walnut blasting every 40,000 miles completed the picture. Current market, 2014 to 2019 Sierras discounted specifically because informed buyers know what's underneath beneath the badge. But Sierra's premium disappointment can't match what government regulations forced on the greatest diesel engine ever built. Number 7. Ram Heavy Duty, 2007 to present. In the oil fields of West Texas, equipment haulers had one rule: 5.9-liter Cummins or walk. Not brand loyalty, pure economics. These engines were documented at 467,000 miles, still pulling drilling equipment without rebuilds. The mechanical Bosch injection had no emissions computers to fail, no DEF fluid to freeze, no DPF to clog during constant idling that heavy equipment work demands. Just diesel and oil-producing torque that outlasted everything around it. Then EPA regulations changed in 2007. Ram had no choice. The 6.7-liter Cummins replacement is capable on paper. More horsepower, more torque. But it arrived wrapped in an emissions ecosystem costing more to maintain than entire used trucks. DEF injector failures at $1,800 to $2,400. DPF replacements at $3,500 to $6,000 when work duty regeneration cycles can't keep pace. EGR cooler failures at $2,800 to $4,500. SCR catalyst failures, adding another expensive layer on top. One West Texas fleet manager calculated it without emotion. 5.9-liter trucks cost us 8 cents per mile total maintenance through 400,000 miles. 6.7-liter trucks cost 14 cents per mile through 200,000 miles and getting worse. Emissions equipment adds $5,000 in repairs every 100,000 miles the old engine never needed. Ram didn't choose this. Federal compliance wasn't optional, but buyers who understood what the 5.9-liter meant recognized exactly what was lost. Current market, pre-2007, 5.9-liter trucks selling for $35,000 to $50,000, while higher mileage 6.7-liter examples sell for less. But Ram HD's regulatory betrayal had an excuse. What comes next had absolutely none. Number 6. Ram 1500, 2013 to 2021. Canadian Oil Sands operations in Alberta ran 2009 to 2012. Ram 1500s for supervisor transport across frozen job sites. Simple Hemi 5.8, coil spring suspension, basic controls. Trucks that started at minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit without drama and lasted through punishment that retired lesser vehicles in months. Consumer reports rated it above average reliability consistently. The 2009 to 2012 Ram was genuinely one of the best half-ton trucks ever built. Then Ram upgraded everything for 2013. The air suspension replaced proven coil springs on higher trims. Journalists loved the ride quality at press launches. What those launches didn't reveal: air compressor failures at $800 to $1,200. Airbag failures at $600 to $900 per corner. Height sensor failures at $400 to $600 each. In minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit Alberta winters, air suspension components fail with brutal predictability. One supervisor described finding his $58,000 Ram sitting on its frame on a January morning. Air compressor failed overnight in the cold. Rental car for 11 days waiting for dealer parts. The e-torque mild hybrid added electrical complexity without meaningful efficiency gains. The ZF 8-speed automatic shuddered between 20 to 40 miles per hour on thousands of documented examples. Multiple fluid changes and valve body replacements resolved some permanently, and many not at all. One Canadian oil company compared both generations directly. 2011 Rams averaged $680 annually in unscheduled repairs. 2017 Rams averaged $1,840 annually through identical mileage. Air suspension alone added $600 per truck in 3 years. The upgrades that followed a genuinely great truck made it genuinely expensive to own. But Ram 1500's complexity problem can't match what Ford built when they replaced perfection with catastrophe. Number 5. Ford Super Duty, 2003 to 2007. Heavy equipment transport companies built entire operations around one engine, the 7.3-liter PowerStroke. At 300,000 miles, nothing needed. At 400,000 miles, still nothing. Towing companies documented fleets averaging 512,000 miles before major overhauls. The HEUI injection was mechanical. The fixed turbo was simple. The engine asked for oil changes and fuel filters and gave back decades of commercial reliability without complaint. Ford replaced it with the 6.0-liter PowerStroke In 2003, the EGR cooler cracked under thermal stress and contaminated the coolant. Contaminated coolant destroyed head gaskets. Failed gaskets caused catastrophic overheating. The oil cooler clogged, restricting coolant flow and accelerating every failure simultaneously. Each broken system triggered the next in a cascade so predictable that specialized 6.0-liter repair shops opened across America. An entire industry built around fixing one engine's fundamental design failure. One Texas fleet manager documented everything without editorializing. 14 6.0-liter Super Duties, 3 years, 11 EGR cooler replacements at $3,800 to $5,200 each, 7 head gasket failures at $8,000 to $14,000 each. Total spent $94,000 repairing trucks that should have been working. Replaced them all with used 7.3-liter trucks found in Oklahoma. Ford issued countless TSBs, extended warranties. Nothing fixed the fundamental design. The 6.0-liter remained broken until the 6.7-liter in 2011 finally approached 7.3-liter reliability levels. Current market, 7.3-liter PowerStrokes at $35,000 to $55,000. Equivalent 6.0-liter trucks at $12,000 to $22,000. Buyers paying $20,000 premiums specifically to avoid Ford's worst decision. That $94,000 fleet repair bill is the most documented disaster on this list until number 1. Stay with me. But Super Duty's diesel catastrophe can't match what GM quietly did to millions of proven engines with one software decision. Number 4, Chevrolet Silverado, 2014 to 2021. Montana Sheriff Departments ran 1999 to 2007 Silverado 1,500 patrol fleets to 247,000 miles average. 0 engine failures across 18 trucks. Police fleets are brutal. Constant idling, aggressive driving, equipment weight, 0 tolerance for mechanical downtime. These Silverados absorbed everything because the 5.3-liter Vortec iron block was engineered without compromise for buyers who depended on it professionally. Then GM added active fuel management in 2014. AFM deactivates 4 cylinders at highway speeds to improve EPA test numbers. The hydraulic lifters enabling deactivation fail at 60,000 to 80,000 miles with mechanical certainty. When they collapse, metal fragments travel through the entire oiling system. Bearings fail. Cylinder walls score. A $4,500 lifter repair becomes a $10,000 engine rebuild if caught late, and most owners catch it late because nothing warns them until damage is already done. Class action, Spearley versus General Motors, documented the defect. GM's own TSB 19-2345 acknowledged AFM as the root cause, published quietly while sales continued unchanged. One Georgia construction owner described his situation directly. Bought a 2016 Silverado with 68,000 miles for $28,000. Lifter failure at 71,000 miles. Quote, $5,600. GM offered nothing. Every mechanic who works on these knows this failure is coming before the owner does. Aftermarket AFM delete kits at $800 to $1,200 disable the system entirely. Owners paying extra to fix what GM should have built correctly from the beginning. Current market, Silverados with documented AFM deletes command premiums over unmodified examples. Buyers paying for what manufacturers should have delivered. But Silverado's software disaster can't match what Toyota did to the most loyal full-size truck buyers in America. Number 3, Toyota Tundra, 2022 to present. First Toyota I've owned that's visited the dealer for something beyond maintenance. Twice in 14 months. That's a Wyoming rancher who bought every Tundra since 2004. His 2007 to 2021 examples averaged 318,000 miles in commercial ranch work. Consumer Reports gave the 5.7-liter V8 Tundra above average reliability every single year. His 2022 broke that streak at 17,000 miles with a transmission hesitation requiring dealer reprogramming. At 31,000 miles, a hybrid system warning kept it off the ranch for 4 days. Toyota replaced the proven 5.7-liter V8 with a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 in 2022. Tundra buyers weren't purchasing horsepower numbers. They were buying the proven reliability of an engine that hadn't needed fundamental redesign in 15 years because it was already correct. Two turbochargers introduced complexity the old V8 never carried. Direct injection, carbon buildup potential, an unproven 10-speed automatic in its first real-world validation. The iForce Max Hybrid added battery weight and electrical systems that work truck buyers specifically never requested. Consumer Reports immediately flagged reliability concerns, remarkable for a nameplate that previously defined the segment's standard. Owner forums document transmission hesitations and hybrid system warnings in trucks under 20,000 miles consistently. Toyota's most loyal buyers had accepted higher prices and lower payload numbers for years because reliability justified everything. The new powertrain asked them to accept unproven complexity for fuel economy, gains nobody in a working operation ever prioritized. Current market 2021 Tundras, last year of the 5.7-liter, commanding $3,000 to $5,000 premiums over equivalent 2022 models. Owners holding pre-2022 examples longer than any previous generation. But Toyota's gamble can't match what Ford did to America's best-selling truck by changing everything at once. Number 2. Ford F-150, 2011 to 2019. A Colorado construction owner described 30 years of F-150 loyalty in one sentence. They were trucks I never had to think about. The 5.4-liter V8, 4-speed automatic, steel body, 264,000 miles on job sites without drama, oil changes, brake pads. That simplicity was the product. Buyers didn't think about their trucks because their trucks never gave them reason to. Then Ford changed everything at once. 2011, the 3.5-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo replaced the V8. Timing chains stretch at 80,000 to 120,000 miles, requiring $3,000 to $4,500. Carbon buildup on intake valves needing $800 to $1,200, walnut blasting every 40,000 miles. Two turbochargers at $2,500 to $3,500 each. Intercooler pipes cracking, an engine requiring dealer diagnostic equipment. Independent shops struggled to operate. 2015, aluminum body arrived. Repair costs running 40 to 60% higher than equivalent steel. Insurance premiums increased across every trim. That same Colorado owner's minor parking lot dent, $4,200 for aluminum versus $800 in steel. 2017, the 10-speed automatic introduced shuddering between gear changes. Multiple software updates addressed some owners permanently. Many report it returning. Torque converter failures at 50,000 to 80,000 miles. 3 major changes across 6 years. Consumer Reports dropped F-150 recommendation multiple times. That construction owner's final calculation: EcoBoost timing chain $3,800, aluminum door $2,900, transmission service $1,400, all before 85,000 miles. He bought a used 2008 F250 with 7.3 liters for $28,000 and hasn't visited a Ford dealer since. Independent mechanics describe the shift plainly. Pre-2011 F-150 RMS barely paid their rent. Post-2011 F-150S helped pay their mortgage. But even Ford's complete reinvention can't match the most dramatic transformation in truck history. Number 1. Dodge Ram 2500, 3500, 2007 to present. Kansas ranching operations built their working lives around one specific truck, not because of the badge, because at 500,000 miles, the engine still ran. Agricultural fleets in Montana used them as workhorses for 15 years without major drivetrain repairs. The 5.9-liter Cummins with mechanical Bosch injection had no emissions computers to fail, no DEF fluid to freeze, no DPF to clog during constant field idling. It started at minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, pulled at 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and asked for nothing but diesel fuel and oil changes. Then manufacturers changed 10 things simultaneously. The 5.9-liter Cummins became the 6.7-liter surrounded by emissions equipment, costing more to repair than most used trucks cost to buy. DEF injector failures at $1,800 to $2,400. DPF replacements at $3,500 to $6,000. EGR cooler failures at $2,800 to $4,500. One Kansas fleet manager calculated without sentiment, 5.9-liter trucks cost us 8 cents per mile total maintenance through 400,000 miles. 6.7-liter trucks cost 14 cents per mile through 200,000 miles and getting worse. The legendary NV4500 manual transmission was discontinued, replaced by the 6.8 RFE automatic failing under sustained towing at 100,000 to 150,000 miles. Rebuild cost, $4,500 to $6,500. The simple dashboard became a Uconnect touchscreen with documented failures. Price climbed from under $30,000 to $85,000 loaded, while reliability went the opposite direction. One Kansas operation tracked both generations across 10 years. 5.9-liter fleet, 6 cents per mile total costs. 6.7-liter fleet, 19 cents per mile through identical work. Same roads, same loads, same maintenance discipline. Emissions equipment explain the entire difference. Used market delivers the final verdict. Pre-2000, 75.9-liter Ram 2,500s in working condition sell for $40,000 to $55,000. Brand new 2024 Ram 2,500 harshest sit on lots with $8,000 to $15,000 discounts. Buyers paying more for 20-year-old trucks than dealers can get for new ones. Every truck on this list was trusted with real work before manufacturers intervened. Mining fleets, oil fields, ranch operations, safari companies, commercial deliveries. These weren't enthusiast toys. They were tools that livelihoods depended on. Simplicity built every one of them. Complexity broke every one of them. Hit subscribe. Tell us which betrayal hit closest to home.